doing? I saw Kate.
I know she told me.
Yeah.
Exactly how he's very. Still in the mouse. There she is.
Right, she recognized
It
him.
was a Lynn sighting.
Yes. Who wouldn't know he was loud? Oh, I was just talking to up there. Trying not to be seen. but-
Fisher's.
Fisher's.
Fisher's here.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Okay, it's 6:01 PM. Let's call the meeting of the City of Tonawanda Council to order. Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Fisher.
Here.
Mylum.
Here.
Cook.
Here. All right, let's go through the agenda. Bid openings for our agenda. On the resolutions.
Yeah, people speak council.
Sure.
No.
Any questions on it?
I didn't do it.
Questions? All right, on the bills. Questions on the bills?
I did not. Where's that? Out here?
Yeah, he's
You
there,
want-
he's in the back.
Oh, same thing. These bills have not been paid yet. Now you're going to cut the checks after we vote.
Yep,
Yeah.
tomorrow morning.
Okay, Jason's here. All right, questions on the resolution 3, the Swing Bridge Overlook Improvement Project? Do we have any questions on
See, it's going.
it? No.
I do have one quick question. Jason, why do you think it will start?
Typically, once we get the council approval, we'll issue a notice of award. And then that starts the paperwork. Once they get the notice of award, they got the other bonds, insurance, things like that, so. You should be under a full contract in about a month.
Okay, let me quite a few people ask me about it, especially from River Red.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yep.
Okay, are we gonna do council on this?
I'm not opposed to council on all, just like they said. Can't get over the disparity in the bills.
No.
You know, $250,000 between top and bottom.
I remember, I said the same thing when I read it, but I remember what Jason said. Sometimes they just throw it out there to see if no one else wanted it. They're like, I'll do it if they're willing to pay me.
Right.
So.
And he gets their foot in the door.
Okay, next is the resolution for the contract for the construction administration and inspection services for the Niagara Street Mill and Overlay and drainage improvements.
Whereabouts on Niagara is this?
It's from the town line up to Mount Creek. The new storm sewer that we're putting in is in response to the new owner of the Island Restaurant. He wanted to do some development there, and the way that the street currently drains, it goes down that hill towards to Mount Creek Road. And it actually goes right through the back of his parking lot behind his restaurant and his catch basin back there, so. We're putting in a country gutter and new storm sewer to take that and direct it right to the creek.
You did hear what he said, restaurant, so you make it, that was supposed to be a hotel motel type thing. Instead, so many being built, he was in my office 2 days ago, he was doing a restaurant bar. We're going back to that, which is good, great location.
Yeah,
But he needs the overlay, he needs that done, and some other things that he says, we'll see. You mean nice. place. Okay. Yes, you will have to. Was he asking about back from?
Okay, the next resolution is to start the process of the direct sale. Any questions on that?
This is just a process.
Yeah, this is, and then we'll vote on it on September 2nd.
We can publish it.
Yeah, yep. Published for 3 consecutive weeks.
Just one time a week, reading.
Yes,
Yes.
once a week for 3 weeks.
Okay.
All right, next is a special event, application for the Buffalo Trade Emporium Trade Show. Questions on this?
I was reading over the application. This is, it looks like it's just in front of Old Man River. Is that correct?
And sites,
For Verifado, like where the drum festival
yes,
is.
exactly. Okay, one to through with Niagara Street as well.
Okay, then next is the special event application for the new Life Center Church for the worship in the park. Questions on that? And then last special event is for the TFC bonfire. Questions on that? Everybody good with that? Okay, Mayor, do you have objective,
I do, very quick.
purpose,
Person,
particular person?
this is correct. Mary, everybody.
And we'll make a motion to go to executive session for personnel of a particular person. Do I have a second?
Also.
All those in favor?
Yeah.
Okay, don't go anywhere. Dead. Oh, you can stay here. Dead, it's dead.
It's
Dead
done.
pass.
No.
No, you said
I guess,
Who said they don't?
it's gonna be, I need 3 votes. You need 3 votes.
We can do it at the end when everybody leaves and the council is over.
Okay, once we do.
We constantly are throwing people out in the middle of a meeting. That
Alright,
we're
let's
bring
go.
back in the rest of the room. So I'm not gonna vote yes ever, kind of middle
Let's
of
go around the room, Mr. Fisher.
So. I spoke briefly with the mayor, I just went over to follow up, the splash pad hours once the pool closes, because the pool is slated to close in approximately 2 weeks.
Roughly 2 weeks.
But the splash pad has the fencing set up where it can still remain open and independent
I
of
can
this.
do that, yes.
Have you discussed it with parks?
I discussed it with head of park, just and talked about it with Nathan, and we're gonna work out some type of schedule with the person use, we can utilize it if Mother Nature allows us to do that. If this heat stays like this, we're definitely.
What it's. Yeah, the 10-day forecast is showing it's like this, so we're probably gonna say in the
That's
70s,
nice.
so. But that pool, I don't wanna quote the exact date, but it's like the second week of August, that pool's gonna close.
That's about correct.
And we're gonna have this heat at least through Labor Day, which is
Yeah.
gonna get another 17 days, and then possibly into the first week of September,
Correct.
so. You know, we should definitely have a contingent to keep the splash pad park.
Yeah.
Even if it is for
Yeah.
reduced hours after school, or if it's during the summer, during the day, and then after school, if it's like, 4 to 6, 4 to 7. This way we can say we're using it, 'cause they have that thing locked up.
We will work it out with parks, so we're
Yep.
supposed to.
All right. Next, we talked about in the beginning of the year, when we were talking about the personnel switching of senior park rec leaders and park director. And we were talking about the difference. Does anybody see Adam? I'm sorry, Adam. I sent you an email about what I said was the savings in funds based on the different positions that have moved around in the Parks Department. Did you get a chance to look at that? So one of the things was Superintendent Franzak asked to be compensated at a rate of $15,000 on a stipend. And we granted a $5,000 stipend. And one of the things that the superintendent was saying was, now that those positions have been finalized, we brought in a senior park rec leader at a lower salary, at a lower starting salary, because I believe Nate's at 53,000 was the starting. He was asking that we could properly, for the remainder of this year, give him that additional $10,000 stipend. And then going forward from January 1, that would be another negotiation, that would be a conversation we had with your office. But for the remainder of this year was to make him whole for all the work he's been doing. I'm not gonna speak there two that aren't here, but I imagine they would have brought it up too, but the reason why I'm bringing it up is I have firsthand seen the effort of the superintendent who has managed parks, managed the DPW, the grass cutting, the signs being put up, all of it. And we didn't skip a beat and we were down 3 people. And my math, it was about $150,000 savings, give or take. I know we did hire Dave Nadell part-time for some fill-in stuff.
Which I need to remove him back to the, what do you call it, the docks.
Yeah,
Dock master.
but
But to do that, there's too much work for one senior park rec leader.
correct, but he's being compensated at a part-time rate with no benefits. 'Cause he's part- So there was 3 benefit packages saved, there was salary saved. So I believe, I was hoping Adam could follow up on that email, but we do have the money in the budget lines to give him the additional 10 for this year, bringing his total stipend to 15. And the reason why I like the stipend is because then, like I said, January 1, regardless of who's in these seats, in that seat, any seat, he'll then be able to have that conversation going forward who are you hiring? Are you not hiring? Am I doing these duties? Am I not doing these duties? But because he has done those duties for, oh, Adam, please, yes.
Yeah, we would have to definitely increase the budget if you wanted to do this, because we didn't budget for those positions in 25.
For all three lines.
Yeah, if you look at some of the cuts we made in the Parks Department and the salary line, they're all directly related to that.
You saved it.
The savings already been recognized in the budget.
And the healthcare too? Because we were anticipating one possibly coming back. If one of them would have came back, they could have accepted that
We
position.
were saying, let's keep our minds open to it, budget wise, we cut everything to try to meet our 5%.
So you're saying those savings were already recognized before those arbitrations were completed?
We budgeted for one senior activity. This year.
Which we didn't have until we got Nate. And then Nate came in at a salary lower than what that line was budgeted for. I believe that line was budgeted at 65 and Nate came in at 63, so already 12 there plus the healthcare benefits of half a year. So we did have the savings.
I mean, we were paying Adele at a higher rate to do, I mean, we were paying him a 40-hour, but. Part-time rate.
So we need to look at where how much we actually are ahead right now. We should be ahead based on those names and.
That conversation I'd rather have with Adam, so we can figure it out, and get the facts, or to just figure it out.
Well, that's why I'm bringing it to the table now. So we can have that conversation.
Commitment to them, we did.
Correct, and that's why I'm saying it's around the room and having a conversation versus coming in with a resolution and saying, let's do it.
I'm willing to do it.
Yeah, so you can sit down with Adam and look at those numbers, see what those numbers are. I just hypothetically spitballing, if he's asking for 10 and you're saying there's a savings of 9,100, we can only give him 9,100. But we still, I don't, like he said, I don't want to raise taxes or pull from a different budget. But there should be a recognized savings somewhere in there, and we can justly compensate for what happened this year as far as his extra duties. So, all right, so that's a conversation we had between you and Adam to tell us what the numbers look like then, okay? And then the last one I have is, I'm getting multiple complaints coming in from residents on the Delaware, Scott Street area about a nuisance house located on Delaware. The mayor was privy to the email, but the resident sent it to us. I then sent it to the police chief and said, this nuisance house, how many complaints did you have at this address? In the last 24 months, he had 25 police incidents there, 2 of them involving search warrants and SWAT team takedowns in the house. The residents in the area are alleging it's a sex trafficking house. There has been one complaint, one of the residents forwarded the email to me that they made to the human trafficking line. I'm gonna follow up on that, but the mayor said he was gonna follow up with the police chief on that too. I just spoke to the police chief. Police chief says he is doing all he can do, as far as enforcement action in the area. So.
I'll sit down with Katie in the morning, one time, he owns the house too, start from scratch. We'll work on it tomorrow.
What about that nuisance law we passed in
Yeah.
2019? Wouldn't that be applicable?
Actually.
Let's have the chief to have a situation.
Well,
But we have it.
We just can't keep going on the same. You gotta be something to do.
the problem is the neighbors are saying that the people coming and going all hours of the house. The problem is the police department's records reflect that.
Right.
That they're not, the neighbors aren't wrong.
There's activity.
There's activity there. There was definitely activity there and that was only a quick, I just spitballed 24-month check and it was 25 hits in 24
I
months
just saw it for the
on
first
Charm
time
CD
tonight,
cards.
so-
I don't know what the CD cards are. I
You
didn't
look at
foil
it.
anything. I just asked for the numbers. A CD card could be something as simple as, a fire alarm was going off and the police were dispatched. But based on the email that I received back saying SWAT activity, warrants and other things, I don't get into specific, I didn't ask for the specific of the 25, but there's definitely an issue at that location. And the neighbors are very upset and confirming that.
Mike and Brendan look into what we have for law written right now. Can do it. I'll look at the chief in the morning and also with Katie. We didn't send off a lot of this. He might be renting it out to something.
Right.
It's just a rental.
Yeah, we can look at it.
That's it. Doing some quick minds up.
Section 18, any premise where and there is an ongoing criminal nuisance as defined in Article 240 of the penal law.
We have activity.
Keep in mind, police activity doesn't mean fair, but.
Right, I get it, I get it. You said there were 25 complaints in 1 year.
So 2 years, 24-month period, there've been 25 CD cards punched on the house, but like I said. A nuisance fire alarm going off, and someone calls the police, would punch a CD card for that. So
Dog barking.
dog barking, right, so we'd actually have to drill down those 25 to say, what are they?
Right.
But to have that kind of volume at one address in a 24-month period is a high volume.
I don't want the neighborhood to feel unsafe either.
Well, this is exactly why we passed that local
That's
law.
exactly right.
Okay. We'll look at it.
Yes.
Okay. Mr. Munro.
Just to update folks on the Riverview project. Mayor and I had a chance to walk through last week.
Yes,
And there's been a change to the overall footprint. They are not gonna be adding a second story onto the building itself. The old building is gonna remain exactly as it is now. Just, I guess, construction costs and everything else.
the stability, he was concerned about building on top of that
Yeah,
first floor with stability of the building itself, being the age of it. So it's
and he went down from 18 houses to
down
17.
20.
Yeah.
Down 20.
That was 30 units.
So it's gonna take him longer to get to where he needs to hit to make a profit now, but he's willing to do it because he feels good, right?
And he's going down one home. There was gonna be 18 around the perimeter, he's going down to 17.
What was the reason?
I believe where he was gonna put the one house, they're using for drainage now. They needed extra sewage drainage and retention pond and things like that, so they had to kind of. But the lots that he's got staked out up there for the houses are the same size as the lots across the street, which was kind of standing there looking at those wooden stakes. It doesn't look
Kinda
like
weird,
that, but it's still on track. It's just he's taken out the re-apartments. So it's going from 92 to 60, I believe it is. There was a.
Yes, as you know, the Ivy left, like I was saying, is so the guy's name is Jeff Deering. He's excited about building a restaurant back again, which is exciting for our city because there's nothing at that end of the city, and it's just too nice of a location, which is nice. The Vault, Mike and I made a meeting on Thursday with the Vault, so Tim will be in from the old bank there, and I'm looking forward to meeting with him. And then also I sent a note to traffic and safety, so everybody understands that I met with chief. I want to put a sign of no electric bikes or scooters allowed in the bike paths. So I want to get that up, and we're working legally, Mike's helping me, Britt's helping me, so we're trying to get to where we need to go by crossing the proper paths, crossing our T's and dotting our I's legally, so it's a double-edged sword. You put the sign out there and somebody gets hurt, they sue us because we didn't enforce it. Now, I talked to chief about that, and he says, well, I can make sure that we get down a little bit to have recorded times that we found somebody in the wrong. I said, that's what we have to do, because the other double-edged sword is, we don't put anything down there, and somebody gets hurt, they're gonna sue us anyways. So we're in a kind of a darn if you do, darn if you don't situation, but I think if we at least get something down there, from a city standpoint, I feel the council would agree that, no electric bikes, scooters allowed. So more to come on that one there, so let's see. The church, I'm meeting the church of Luskin, I talked to Chisel on that, about that property next door, we're looking at that as an next sale. Our goal should be to eliminate something we work on in the city, spend money and time on, and turn it into revenue. That should be our goal. And that's what we're doing with 445 Alpha Crip, with our open sale. It's started yesterday, it goes to the 22nd of this month. It started already, we've got no bids yet, but I think everybody's waiting to see what everybody's gonna do. And as Mike said, and I asked him, and he can bid and rebid and rebid again, but he doesn't wanna bid against himself, the guy who gave him the quote of 30,000, so. It's gonna be interesting, but let's get rid of property that we own, and we don't need no more, and turn it into revenue. I think that's a smart thing to do from our standpoint. The last night, there was over 500 people that hunt the canal, it was a great show. I was 3 seats down from Zellner, we watched the show, it was a great show. Very entertaining, kind of weird, but it was fun. So all I want to say is, do wow, don't eat the fish, but then instead, it was really interesting, it was fun. Blu-ray signs, we're gonna get some of these signs down, to support the Blu-ray trail, it goes all the way down to, New York City. And, they're gonna be putting some signs up, explaining and educating about what the Blu-ray, what the trail is. And, I'm all for that, if we can, they're gonna send me some samples, I'll send them to everybody in council, say, hey, look at this, what's going up. How do you like it? And, if we like it, I wanna put them up. And then, the other one is, last one is November 1st is our next recycling for paint. And it's going to be the Rotary Club, or I'm sorry, the Rotary took the last one, it's going to be the Finest Club of Town Line is getting the benefits. We try to spread the wealth of between all non-for-profits, they get between 2,000 and 3,000, depending on how energetic they get, how good sales pitch they have. It's free to the public, but hey, we're the Lions Club, or we're the Rotary Club, they get it, and they have between 2,000 and 3,000, so all that money goes back into our community for any one of those groups. So it's a win-win for everyone. That's all I had.
Okay, I just have one thing. Dale Kokonovich had sent an email about the pilot agreement for the Bellevue Commons. And there's a signature line that they had to change in an address.
Right.
Who is the third signature on the pilot?
Town property.
No, that's different. County has their own separate line.
I'm not exactly sure. I remember the email.
You signed it and the mayor signed it, and then there's a third signature. Is it Katie?
Maybe. Yeah, I signed it. Johnson.
So they just need that third signature.
I'll find out who they want.
So they can get it processed with the county,
Yeah.
but they had to change the address.
They changed an address.
Yeah.
It was minor.
Yeah. So he was just wondering if we could proceed because they have to move forward by August 18th.
Take care of it tomorrow.
Okay. I think Katie signed this. Okay, I think you're the third, but. All right, so just let us know. On that, that's all I got. All right, I'll make a motion to adjourn our informal, go into our formal, do I have a second? All those in favor? I think he said it.
Are they exactly at the end?
It's. I don't think, I'll have to look at it and
Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Fisher,
Here.
Mylum,
Here.
Cook,
Here, please stand for the pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag, United States. To the republic, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please remain standing. For a moment of silence. I just ask that you keep in your thoughts and prayers the family of Jim Sheasley on the passing of his brother Lynn. All right, thank you. You may be seated. The mayor's certificate of recognition to a local business. That individual is not yet here, so the mayor will do that at the end. Bid openings as per your agenda. Communications from the mayor have been ordered and filed. Communications from city officials and correspondents have also been ordered and filed. At this time, we'll now take comments by the public on the resolutions. For those that are joining us virtually, there is a spot for you to raise your hand and the clerk will call upon you. For those that are joining us in person, please approach the microphone. This is on the resolutions. Hearing or seeing none, we'll proceed. Resolution 1.
Resolution 1 by the council, resolved that the common council minutes from July 2nd, 2025 be accepted as filed.
So first, before reading it, it's seconded by the council. Then the resolved. Comments or questions? Mr. Clerk, call the roll.
Fisher,
Hey.
Mylum, Cook,
I declare the resolution adopted.
Resolution number 2 by the council, seconded by the council.
I'll call the
Resolved that
second,
bills
Mr.
be
Clerk.
allowed as audited. I'm sorry?
I'll call the second, Mr. Clerk.
Okay, understood.
Comments or questions? Please call the roll.
Fisher,
Aye.
Mylum,
Aye.
Cook,
I declare the resolution adopted.
resolution number 3 by the council.
Seconded by the council.
Resolved at the recommendation of the city engineer Jason J. Lamonaco that construction of the Swing Bridge Overlook Improvement Project be made to McLaughlin Construction Corp. DBA Ed Bauer Construction at cost not to exceed $437,581.50.
Comments or questions? Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Fisher,
Aye.
Mylum,
Aye.
Cook,
I declare the resolution adopted.
resolution number 4 by the council.
Seconded by the council.
Resolved at the recommendation of the city engineer Jason J. Lamonaco that award of the contract for construction administration and inspection services for the Niagara Street Mill and Overlay and Drainage Improvements Project be made to Clark Patterson Lee at a cost not to exceed $46,600.
Comments or questions? Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Fisher,
Aye.
Mylum,
Aye.
Cook,
I declare the resolution adopted.
resolution number 5 by the council.
Seconded by the council.
Whereas the city of Tonawanda desires to sell a piece of city-owned real estate commonly known as 20 Seymour Street, Tonawanda, New York, 14150. And whereas the common council has determined that the said parcel is no longer required for public use by the city of Tonawanda, and whereas the common council has determined that it is in the best interests of the city to sell the said property and restore it to the tax rolls to generate revenue, and whereas the common council has determined that it is in the best interest of the city of Tonawanda to sell the aforementioned city-owned property directly to David Sutton, Lucas Salino, and James Wangelin, or an LLC to be formed for the sum of $83,000, and whereas this authorization for a direct sale is specifically contingent upon David Sutton, Lucas Salino, and James Wegelin, or an LLC to be formed purchasing the former St. Francis school buildings and developing them into residential units. Now therefore be it resolved that the common council hereby determines that the subject property commonly known as 20 Seymour Street is no longer required for public use, and be it therefore resolved that pursuant to the City Code of Ordinances, Chapter 102, Administration, Article 1, in General, Section 102 disposition of real property owned by the city shall be sold by a direct private sale, and be it therefore resolved, the common council hereby authorizes the publication of the city's intention to sell 20 Seymour Street at the regularly scheduled common council meeting of September 2nd, 2025 of 6:30 p.m.
Comments or questions? Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Fisher,
Aye.
Mylum,
Aye.
Cook,
I declare the resolution adopted.
resolution number 6 by the council.
Seconded by the council.
Whereas a special events application was received by the city clerk from Thomas Barafato to conduct the Buffalo Trade Emporium Trade Show event from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. on August 17th, 2025. And whereas the application was reviewed and commented on by all appropriate department heads to ensure the safety and well-being of our residents. And whereas all details of the above named event must be coordinated with Captain Adam Kiersitz of the Police Department and the event chairperson, now therefore be it resolved that permission is granted to Thomas Barafato to hold the Buffalo Trade Emporium Trade Show event from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. on August 17th, 2025, and that a certificate of insurance naming the city of Tonawanda as additionally insured is filed with the city clerk no later than August 8th, 2025.
Comments or questions? Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Fisher,
Aye.
Mylum,
Aye.
Cook.
Aye, declare the resolution adopted.
Resolution number 7 by the council.
Seconded by the council.
Whereas a special events application was received by the city clerk from the New Life Center Church for the Worship in the Park event, and whereas the application was reviewed and commented on by all appropriate department heads to ensure the safety and well-being of our residents, and whereas all details for the above named event must be coordinated with the City Parks Department and the event chairperson, now therefore be it resolved that permission be granted to New Life Center Church to hold their Worship in the Park event on Friday, September 5th, 2025 at the David Miller Band Shell from 4 p.m. until 10 p.m. and be it further resolved that a certificate of insurance naming the city of Tonawanda as additional insured be filed with the city clerk no later than August 22nd, 2025.
Comments or questions? Please call the roll.
Fisher,
Aye.
Mylum,
Aye.
Cook.
Aye, declare the resolution adopted.
Resolution number 8 by the council.
Seconded by the council.
Whereas a special events application was received by the city clerk from the Tonawanda Football Clinic for the TFC Bonfire event, and whereas the application was reviewed and commented on by all appropriate department heads to ensure the safety and well-being of our residents, and whereas all details for the above named event must be coordinated with the fire department and the event chairperson, now therefore be it resolved that permission be granted to the Tonawanda Football Clinic for the TFC Bonfire event on Thursday, August 21st, 2025 at the East Athletic Field parking lot from 6 p.m. until 10 p.m. and be it further resolved that a certificate of insurance naming the city of Tonawanda as additional insured be filed with the city clerk no later than August 8th, 2025.
Comments or questions? Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Fisher,
Aye.
Mylum,
Aye.
Cook.
Aye. At this time, we'll now take comments by the public following the resolutions. For those that are joining us in person, please approach the microphone. For those that are joining us virtually, there's a spot for you to raise your hand. Mr. Clerk, we have a comment on the floor.
My name is Timothy Priano. I live at 44 Scott Street. Our family's owned this house since 1958. My mother passed in 2022. Over the last years of her life, she complained on how bad our neighborhood turned into. Scott Street was called like the sewer of the city because of all the drug issues going on. This problem has not stopped. There's a house at 165 Delaware Street that last night I witnessed 2 adult men beat up a woman. Our police were called. I witnessed that the police did not protect the victim because this is human trafficking going on. We have in our city human traffic issues happening within the city. We have drugs beyond. And the reason I know they're drugs is because the kid across the street from us at 49 Scott frequented this house where this suspect lives, or this person lives. And he gets high. His girlfriend's been raped by these guys. This has got to stop, Mayor. We've got to fix the problems. People in the city of Tonawanda need to understand that human trafficking and drug trafficking within the city is not acceptable. It is frightening to watch each of these kids walk, park their cars around the corner on Delaware and Scott, get out of the cars. You can see them going for a drug deal. The police department has said they've been working on it over 2 years, from what I know. And I've talked to people in the county, I've talked to people in the state, and I'm also speaking to federal people. Because this is ridiculous that we as citizens don't understand why this problem hasn't been solved. The kid does not own the house. I believe the house is still owned by his parents. The house is ramshackle. The kid is like methed out of his mind. He's in our neighborhood. There's children in our neighborhood. This is all about procuring young girls for issues or whatever. And the last girl that was dropped in front of 49 Scott a month ago told the cops that she was a sex slave there. They arrested the girl because she had a warrant on her. But why is this still happening? It does not make sense. I have from the Western New York human trafficking, because I'm a Rotarian. We are working on a project to educate Western New York on human trafficking and this actions. This needs to be put out through the city. Phone numbers that people can report their neighbors. This is not fair. You don't have cars pulling up to a house 4 or 5 times a day. You don't have these animals beating up a woman. And I spoke to the police about it. They're like, they're working on it. Before somebody's killed, it's gonna be a mark on the city. And as my mother said before she died, it was a reality TV show sitting on her front porch, watching this circus happen. And it is unacceptable that the people in the city of Tonawanda are not informed of this issue. And I'm going to start pushing hard. I'm going to connect with all the community groups in Western New York. We're going to have protests in front of this house. And we're going to block the street until the city gets its act together and they start to do something at the county level. And I'll speak to the county executive. I'll speak to the sheriff's department. I'll go all the way up to wherever we have to go. But it's not fair for a small town like this to allow drug trafficking and prostitution or human trafficking happening in our city. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for your comments.
One, please.
Any other comments?
I gave her the dates.
Mr. Clerk, I received a handout that I'll file with you to distribute to the council.
Yes, ma'am.
Any other comments? Mr. Clerk, anyone joining us virtually wish to address the council?
No, ma'am.
Okay. All right, Mr. Fisher.
Chris Fisher gives back. This week it went to COT Neighbors United for the events that they've been hosting around the city. COT Neighbors United does a lot around our city, so I'm proud to give them a donation this week. I'm not going to be here at the next council meeting on August 19th, so hopefully one of the two come back. Otherwise, there'll just be 2 people sitting up here. But I will not be able to make it next Tuesday. I'm sorry, 2 Tuesdays from now. Governor Kathy Hochul was in Western New York yesterday on August 4th. Governor Hochul has a great relationship with this council. I want to say thank you to Governor Hochul for making sure the city of Tonawanda is always invited to the conversation for whatever the issue is. And I look forward to continuing our great relationship. To the neighbors on Delaware, Scott Street, anybody in the vicinity of there, we discussed this nuisance house at the informal. The mayor spitballed with the city attorney about looking into the nuisance laws that we have on the books to see what we can do about this. The police are aware of it. I have received the emails from a bunch of people in the area. I'm going to forward some up myself to different areas, and if we're all going to stay on it, then, more voices, the better. But we hear you and we're working on it. Okay? And then the last one is I brought up with the mayor during the informal, but Kohler Pool set to close in about 2 weeks for the season. It does close earlier because of the lifeguard issue. But we have that new splash pad attached to it. It has the proper fencing to remain open. And the mayor is going to work with the Parks Department to ensure that great splash pad with the great weather stays open as long as it can so the residents have access to that facility. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mylum.
Nothing to report. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mylum. At this time, I'd like to turn it over to the mayor for his certificate of recognition to a local business and.
Thank you.
closing comments.
I don't know if the local business is here. You are? Oh, great, fantastic. Let me give a little history. First of all, I just want to make a clarification. What is beautification? First of all, it's not about one thing or one thing you've done to a property. It's the overall being a good neighbor. That's to me, it's about being a good neighbor. It's not just filling cement blocks with flowers. That building put siding all down the one side. They actually did the whole front. They put new windows on it. To me, that's beautifying your property. I love that. And that's what I think, if it was contagious and everybody else did the same thing, our city would look better each time we do and make that additional step. It's about planting new flower beds or maybe new trees on the property. It's about caring about what you look like, and maybe the rest of the businesses in this town of Wands will do the same thing. I drove my bike down quite a bit down the bike path, and all of a sudden I saw this black car go down. I don't know whose idea it was. I loved it. And then all of a sudden, after the tarp was there, because what it does, it sets up a barrier between the bike path, which is used by the public, and a business. And we don't need to see the business, but they don't have to put the tarp up. Tarp went up, which I was very satisfied with. Then I went by and their logo was up there. And now there's a picture up there. It's just like, oh my God, it looks very, very nice and inviting for me and safe for me to drive down with my bike or walk down that path. This week I decided to do, and it's not just the bike path, it's the front, what you did with the landscaping, and it's also the large pot you've got down the side. I don't know how you keep them. I can't keep flowers growing, but somehow on tarmac, you get to keep them growing. So I'd like to give it to today to Nashville. Come on up. I guess you're the gentleman who started all this. I want to say congratulations. I wish everybody cared the way you did. You did a nice job. Very good. Hold my hand. Thank you. Thank you. And as Chris Fisher said, he showed me some pictures from 165 Delaware, which is the first time I saw those pictures. And yeah, there's a concern, but you know, what you do when you get a call to my office is I'll turn it over to a department head. I'm not passing the buck. I'm part of the problem if it's not fixed. Yours isn't fixed. Mr. Fisher's involved. I'm involved. Police department is involved. We're gonna get everybody involved so we can correct that. I'm sorry it went that long. I had no, I went to your block party a couple of years ago and heard nothing about it back then, but it materialized. I don't know how it materialized, but I would not want that in my neighborhood. Absolutely not. So it's not something that we take lightly, and we will be addressing it. So we'll have all hands on deck or something like that because it's our city. But we're doing beautification. How about keeping our neighborhood safe? So that's what I would say if I was you, looking at the last award. But the last award was a little bit different. But anyways, it's I just wanted to say a couple things and finishing that we are doing the Folsom River Circus was here. It was a blast. About 500 people came down to the canal to watch a circus take place right on the water. Instead of bang bang rock and roll on Wednesdays and then Thursdays in North Tonawanda, Thursdays in our Tonawanda for food truck Thursdays, and then Friday night we have some. We tried to get some theater, which was great. That's thinking out of the box. But then all of a sudden this came about, and they were coming all the way from here to Albany, and we were the second stop. So we got them involved, and it was great to have them there. They were really fun. It was acrobats, it was clowns, theater people. It was very nicely done. A little weird, but they were fun. They were fun to do and watch. It was really nice. I just wanted to go on record to say that the online auction has started for 445 Elka Creek. It started yesterday, which was Monday, and will last until the 22nd of this month. So if anybody's interested, again, what we are trying to do as a council and as a mayor, we're trying to get rid of any property that we can, that we don't use, we're spending money on, your money, and that we can turn into revenue to help defer taxes. So if we aren't doing that, then we're not doing our job, and that's what we're trying to do. So we're excited about what's going on with David Sutton in both locations, and we're looking forward to that. We're trying to make that process go a little bit further. So I'm excited for the council, agreeing on that so we can get this thing moving. And, it's a team effort. So together we can hopefully make things happen. So I have, thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Warriors Walk Wednesday returns, tomorrow at 6:30. We'll learn more about the library and Elmwood Park, so please, join us at 6:30 if you can. And our back to school supplies drive is in full swing. We have almost 50 students in the district who, could use our support. I want to thank the TEA, Mayor White, for coming together and putting this back to school supplies drive together. That'll be held on August 23rd at the high school. With that said, I'd like to make a motion to go into executive session for personnel of a particular person. So the council will meet in the back. Do I have a second? All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, thank you, everybody.